sounded like wow.
What's
Like
that?
what
I
you
can be
just
enough for
said.
2 people. I'm trying to be enough for 2 people. I'm definitely trying to make it set one of them situations up. No men involved. No men allowed though.
Wait, what?
I said no men allowed. I can set it up. There's no men allowed unless they're there for motivational purpose only.
They be like, Jason, you got this? You got this?
Get back in there, nigga.
In a Jerome voice.
Yeah. He's squabbling up in there now, boy. You squabbling.
Well, for anybody.
Well, you know the type of energy that we're on today. Welcome to the Was It Good Though podcast, the podcast that we discuss, debate, sometimes argue, here lately even create a new show based on the show that we just watched. I am one part of the actual co-host. I'm Jason. I am joined today here with Jazz. How are you feeling, ma'am?
I'm feeling good. You know, we in the midst of our Coke Chronicles. Is that what y'all was calling it? It was the Coke Chronicles. If not, that name sounds fire. So that's what I'm gonna call it.
Hey, I'm with it. Kris has taken a leave of absence, so we'll keep him in our prayers on today. But today, man, we this is our second finale that we've touched, and they both from FX, Black show as well. Snowfall. We are here to discuss the last season of Snowfall. Only the first 5 episodes. So we won't have any conversations about what happens at the latter part of the season. But man, I've been super excited. I've enjoyed every episode. How about you, Jazz?
I have. I came into this season expecting chaos.
Chaos. Did you get it?
So I didn't get as much chaos as I had expected, but I got just enough. I got just enough where I was satisfied for sure.
Understand. So we'll talk about it later. As to, we probably won't get a bit. We probably won't even talk about that this week. They probably won't. That conversation probably won't come until next week. Depending on if you go there, I'm gonna go there with you. But if you go there, we shall see. But again, please, the Was It Good Though podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, rate, review, comment in our YouTube, our IG, Facebook, wherever you see us. Let us know. But Jazz will be leading us off today.
Yes. Since this is the finale, I wanted to do a quick season 5 recap of some of the things that, just to get a refresher, that definitely came back up in this new season. So where we left off some of our folks, Reed took all of Franklin's money because Franklin was like, I'm out. And Reed took about between $73 to $74 million from Franklin. And then also found out his house was bugged, or actually it's his bae's house. And then we have Leon and Wanda. They go to Africa. Also get scooped up by the cops. And we just like, oh Lord, they about to have our man as a snitch next season. And then Louie and Franklin meet up. Franklin is just like, I need you to tell me where Teddy is. He took my money. And Louie was like, nah, I can't do that. And then Franklin pulled a gun out on Louie. Luckily, nothing happened, but Franklin dropped a wild bar. He was like, I'll kill you 10 times over to get my money back. So this money obviously is going to be a major key in this final season. Mm-hmm. And then Javi, RIP, he dies from Ruben, who was in the KGB. And then Franklin hits Louie and Jerome's stash houses with his two, what would you call them?
That was called Diamond. The Diamond Club. I feel like they're security guards. I feel like that was like security.
Okay, his security. So, because they go rob Louie and Jerome's spots. And then Franklin, on his way robbing them, he goes to Kane's hospital bed and was like, Louie did it. And so then we're left to wait. Did we have to wait longer than a year? Because I remember there was a break, but I don't remember where the break was.
I really don't think it was a full year before they came back. I don't think it was a full year, which remembering who these two women really are, that agree to disagree that we had a few months ago, we got to bring that back up at some point too.
Okay, we'll have to do that. I'm not sure exactly which one, but
Got you.
Yeah, we'll revisit that. But now we are season 6, the final season of Snowfall, for our episode 46. So the episode 1 of this season is called Fallout. And I made sure to get the episode names. I
Look
was like,
at
oh, I'm about to be
you.
on my
Notes.
Jason swag. Oh, and let me go ahead and put out a warning. This is an adult episode, so there will be cursing. Do not have the kids around unless they about their life, but hopefully they not. But if they are, they can be around. But just as your warning right here, we're going to be going crazy on this one. So episode 1 is called The Fallout, and there was not a time jump at all in this season. It got right to the next day of everything that was going on. And so we see the result of when Franklin and his girls hit those stash houses. We see a mailman go on to see his look like him, possibly his granddaughter. And then she's just like, Daddy never came home. So then they went to where he was working, and then you see body bags. And then the little girl, for some strange reason, was able to go through the police rope. And I'm like, y'all cops trash as fuck. Because how do you not see that little girl walking towards that body? But then Jerome and Louie are there as well, because it's their warehouse. And they just like, get the girl, get the girl. And I bring her up because we see her again in the next episode. So, Jason, what were your thoughts when you see where we're starting off at? Like, it wasn't no 30 days, 6-month time jump. It was like, oh, Franklin took y'all shit yesterday.
I don't think these episodes really progressed. I feel like after season 5, we like 2 or 3 days. Like everything's happening simultaneously for each character, but within the days that we're looking at, it's all like a 1, 2, 3 days. It's not enough time to really be passed. But I love that they got right back to it. Like it starts off with the consequences of the actions that Franklin caused. You know, he's already pretty much killed a community, but now we're just seeing how it plays off in this situation because, you said the granddad, he pulls up, he was like, is that my son? Is that my son? Let me see. Is this, he was saying his name. Is it him? Is it him? And like I said, the daughter pulls up, and I love they never showed his face. They never showed nothing. Right. They showed the bracelet that she made for him with her name on the tissue. And I was like, bruh, like that hits. Because I think previously, I think season 4, you had a season where Leon killed the little kid. So we know Snowfall, they're not shying away from killing. Anybody can get it on these shows, unfortunately. But just the emotion of the little girl, the emotion of the granddad, I think it played well to set the tone for this season.
I agree. They over here tapping into their Game of Thrones energy, like get their kids out of here. But then we see Franklin and V. Franklin tells V what he did. She disapproves. She just like, nah, this ain't what you about to do. Like, you don't need to be at neck and neck with your family. And Franklin is just like, look, we passed that shit. I need you to help me get your old connects so we can launder this money. And she's obviously just like, she disapproves. Do you feel like she had his best intentions at heart at this point when he brought this to her?
So truthfully, yes. I do feel like she wanted him to basically take it on the chin and let's just go live. We have this baby, we have a whole life. Let's just go live this life that we need to go live for our child, for our family. And at the bare minimum, just patch this up with yours. Like you still have it, you can still fix this, but he sees red, currently. So he wasn't trying to hear voice of reason at no point.
I mean, $74 million. Like, shit, I be seeing red every day.
I get it. He, to build the empire and for it to all be taken overnight. Yeah, that'll hit you. I probably would have died then though. The heart attack straight off.
Soon as you at the office, like, wait, what's going? How much? Oh, nah, none of that. But then I'm going to go ahead and say this, and I'm not going to cover his storyline too much, but if you want to cover it, you are more than welcome. I think Teddy's storyline was the weakest storyline in this season.
I agree.
I hated Teddy's storyline. And I agree. I wanted Sis to be dead.
I did too.
he's talking to, oh, so like we got something major going on. I'm just sitting here like, just because your bitch is missing. I'm like,
Yo,
Teddy.
in my notes, I said Teddy looking for his bitch. That's just my notes. That's
Yeah, like you got all this stuff going on. You don't know where Javi is, but you like, my bitch is missing too. And I'm just sitting here like,
I do love that though. I do love that when he went to go see Hobby People, and there was like, it said, he said, I'm looking for this person. He was like, was she important to you? Come here. He's fuck you and get out my place. I don't care. I'm glad she means something. I hope she's, I hope that they got rid of her. Whatever happened to her, I hope that happened. But yeah, now his storyline was because he went full villain. Well, he went full villain previous season, but this one was just like he's all the way like despicable. You don't know. You don't even. I can't even remember him from first season 1 to now. He looks completely different.
His arrogance is what led him astray, or he was just so arrogant. And then the fact of like, it pissed me off when like last season when Franklin called him, he was like trying to talk like, where's my money? And he just played stupid, because he also did that when Franklin asked him about Alton. He was like, nah, I ain't seen him. So I'm just sitting here like, Franklin already knows when Teddy is lying. And so we get a call back of that later in the season, but we're not getting there yet.
Gotcha.
But so also his house is wired, so they can't even have conversations over there, and he lets Bay know. So they over here trying to figure things out of who's tapping the house. And I believe also said he doesn't think it's Teddy, but then he also was it the CIA? No, Teddy's with the CIA. Was it the FD?
DEA.
Was it the DEA who had his house tapped?
The DEA had the house tapped. That's how they called him.
They ain't shit. But
I mean, hey.
how
does it work though? Can they just go into your house when you're not there? Nobody has given them authorization to just. There's no warrant or anything. They can just tap the house.
No, I think that's illegal. But it's just like, you've seen The Wire, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Like, you can use that to help build a case, but you can't use that data, like those recordings.
Gotcha.
But if they just
in court.
Right. So if they just like, they hear a recording, oh, he gonna be here at the drop. Y'all go to the drop. They not gonna ask us how you find out about it. Shit, long as we got you at the drop, it don't even matter.
Exactly.
But it also lets you know how dirty the government is. But so we get to and how I'm gonna be doing it, I'm going to be jumping around in each episode.
My notes same exact way, because I did it per person. So
right,
what they do until they connect, then I switch it at that point to go. So
I was thinking about doing that, but I was like, that's some shit Jason to do, so I'm not not gonna call me
you
a copycat.
You and Jason swag at the beginning. What happened?
It's because you be knowing the episode names. That's the only Jason swag. Because I be like episode 3, Jason be like episode 4, the dark alley. I'm like, nigga, don't nobody care. No. But so we got Louie and Jerome talking, and Franklin stole $3.5 million in product and money. And so obviously they're pissed off, and they trying to figure out how we gonna, because we got people coming. So they had some people to come to buy the Coke, and then Jerome was like, let me just call them. And here go Louie's like, she was like, who you calling? Fuck you think I'm calling? And Franklin just like, because it was funny, because he was riding with his 2 bodyguards, and it was just like his pager going off, and it was like, you need to get that? He was like, nah. Like, he was kind of channeling his inner Teddy a little bit, especially when they got on the phone.
I think I feel like for him it was more of a, because he wasn't answering the phone call, it was more of a thing of, I'm trying to get everything set in motion before I reach back out. So once I get everything set, because like you said, within here, everybody is just we're getting I guess reacclimated to these characters, see where they are right now. You see Franklin was doing a whole bunch of moving, shucking and jiving, a whole bunch of moving throughout the entire season, because 1, he's ducking. 2, he's trying to be on the offensive, but then 3, he's trying to plan to get to another space. So he's maneuvering and moving the entire time.
I would hate to see what his Uber charge is. He just kept popping up everywhere. First he over here at Oso meeting, and then he at Sissy house, and I know they don't live in the same neighborhood. So I'm just like,
No.
damn, Franklin. But nah, he definitely is like a one-man show, like doing all of this, which I feel like kind of was a disadvantage for him later on. Because it's just
Yeah.
like, if it's just you, you're gonna get burnt out, especially when you thinking about this $73 million.
73 million.
Right. But and so Franklin, he goes, hollers at D. How do you feel about D's character? Because when we were first introduced to him, I was a fan. Probably because he was fine and swole and muscular.
That's definitely
But
why.
now I'm like, he's such an asshole. Like,
I've never really been partial to D, so it wasn't like a thing of whether I like him or not type of thing. But seeing how he was treating Leon, which I liked a lot, I didn't like D. I like Leon. Leon is a cool
okay.
Leon. Yeah, I like Leon. So him, the way he was treating Leon, it was always like nigga, I'm gonna be the next. I'm next up anyway. Like I'm that I'm that dude. But you could see at some point it probably would have been like a man boy situation of him trying to play play that role of trying to play people against Leon type situation. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm glad they didn't go down that road. They
No,
kept
you
him
couldn't repeat
in
it.
his
Couldn't
spot. Yeah.
you
Because
could you don't want to repeat that.
Nah, Manboy did a great job. But like, how did you feel about this scene where Franklin was rolling up and he was just like, look, I know Jerome's selling you 12 a key. I can do 10. And that got D's attention. He's like, oh shit. But then D told him up front, he was like, I'm not trying to get in no family issues that you got going on. And so I respected him when he made that decision, because some folks would just be like, shit, all right. They don't let their intentions be known. But D was just like, I'm not trying to get in the middle of it. I'm just trying to get the best deals where I can save money. And then they also got their on hand mathematic guy with the fro. I can't remember his name.
Einstein.
Yeah, that's not his real name, is it?
That's the name
just...
of the show. Einstein. You never heard him say they call him that?
I don't. I'm sitting here like, why have I never heard nobody call this boy name?
They call him Einstein.
Okay.
But so I respected him saying that, but he got dead in the center of it. You know what I mean? That's kind of what really sent Franklin overboard. I feel like Franklin was already mad, but D did get in the center of it, and he played it. He still played his hand in that situation because I love that. I not love it because Franklin stealing the money, stealing the drugs, and being able to sell them at a low cost. That's the only thing you can do. But Franklin whole thing, it wasn't necessarily to get the money. If he got the money, he would have definitely been winning. But his whole thing was, if I can hurt their business at any cost. So even if it's lowering their money here, they're gonna feel that at any. So yes, D gains. He gets an additional $100,000, but how much does it take out of Louie and Jerome pocket on the flip side of it? So yeah, while it does benefit one person in that party, it doesn't benefit the other. And of course, D being in the middle of it, if anything, if he didn't want to be in the center of it, he should have just been like, hey Jerome, I'm loyal to you, because it's either season 4, season 5, Jerome is the one that built that relationship because he went to the hood and he was bench pressing with all them.
Yeah.
And it was just that's where the camaraderie came from in that. But yeah, D a sucker at the end of the day. Like at the beginning of the end of the day, D a sucker. He used all that to his advantage in that relationship.
So if you were in his situation, would you have went for that?
I would have bowed out. I would have stuck with Jerome because that's who I'm with. And I would have just let Franklin do whatever he did because we already know Franklin is wilding right now. And it's already out in the streets on what's happening. So I would have just left that situation alone, regardless of how good it sounds. If you really want to stay out of it, stay out of it.
Okay, I feel that.
But fuck D. At the I'm gonna say that every time I get a chance to.
Okay, but then we also see Franklin on the move again. Now he stopped by Kane's hospital bed, but Kane is still unresponsive. Mm-hmm. He's just like, Frankie, I need to rest. I love that he calls him Frankie. I'm just like, Frankie.
It's a little he little boy him basically.
That's the energy that I got from it. And I'm just like, every time he call you Frankie, he's really saying my bitch. But
he said, He said that in the previous season, though. You know, he was talking to them when they figured out who was the one that was hitting them so hard, like who was shooting at all of them like that. Yeah, he
Right.
pretty much said like they, because if anything, Franklin has tried to kill anybody that opposed him. When he did it, Franklin was like, hey, we can be in cahoots together, we can work together, type thing.
The real villain in this show is Franklin, but don't nobody ready to talk about that.
So you do agree with me? Okay, gotcha.
Wait, that Franklin is a true villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say when I said I agree to disagree was who is really the villain? Is it Louie? Is it Franklin? Or is it Teddy? It's Franklin, goddammit. But I'm gonna let you continue.
Didn't y'all? So when we discussed it, didn't y'all both say it was Louie?
We said Teddy. Teddy was. I mean, Reed is the. I mean, that's the obvious choice, but
right.
Louie was my second. But nah, I went back, had to do a little research, and it's definitely Franklin.
Okay, I like that. That you saw the light. The light. So now we see Louie and Teddy link up, and Louie's just like, "Look, this is how much I need. I don't have any money because we got hit." And like Teddy, he's over here communicating threats. He's just like, "Look, you either tell me what's going on, or this is the last time we're doing business. Where you gonna go, Teddy? Where you gonna go? Like, my nigga, you not working with Franklin no more, and you probably ain't got no other black people to sell your shit." So
his leverage, like at that point, I don't. Louie didn't truly know her power in that moment, so because she could have definitely played on that with him. But of course, you know, not to steal your thunder in that, but you can see Teddy's his mind was turning because at that point, Franklin hadn't been the person that Franklin had turned into at that point. So he was like, "Oh shit!" So if Franklin was willing to do that to y'all, I'm out of there. His face was just like, like he was like, "Oh wait, he did what? Oh shit!" That's when he was like, "We need to push this timeline up now." And what he was trying to do, which is like that. You know, people in they government, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And it was crazy because like when Louie was telling him the reason why Franklin robbed him is because somebody stole from him. And I've noticed this on my first watch, and then of course the second on my rewatch when Louie said that Louie already knew that Reed took Franklin's money. But of course she wasn't letting him know that. And then he just sit there with that blank ass stare, like, "Oh, for real?" But that motherfucker's a good ass liar. Like he
not though, cause she was looking at him like, that's like, I mean, because she, you know,
I mean, but she knew he was lying.
Yeah.
Because he just sitting there like, "For real?" And I was just like, Louie probably right. Oh, damn, who's stealing Franklin shit? The motherfucker who got all his account numbers. You motherfucker. But like what he said to also after this scene, I caught on my first watch, and I was just like, bruh, Reed, because he basically was just like Franklin and his family don't have the basically it was just like they don't have like the sense to not go at each other to where they're just gonna go to war with one another.
Okay, yeah, they're right. Okay, it was like some racial undertones when he said right. He said the conversation also was just like, but he got him back in another episode. He got him back after the episode when they went to Costa Rica. He was like, yeah, he said, "How'd you learn how to do that?" CIA.
I don't remember that scene.
Yeah, he was asking him how he learned how to use the Berettas, them guns that he was using.
Oh, yeah, when it was in Costa Rica. But like with him, he just didn't think of his role in that. And we talked about it in Reed.
He didn't care about his role in that. So Franklin and Reed are one and the same. Once they get a goal, fuck anything in the way of it. And that was already told to Franklin because, you know, when he killed Mel, dad, and any other thing that Franklin was doing, all the people he had to connive, and he told himself that shit when he was on the drug, the LSD. How many people did you have to snake to connive to get to where you are? Same exact thing with Reed, because I remember he killed his first, like the connect with that guy he was working with in season 1.
Yeah,
and he does that all the time. Like same exact thing. So that they're one and the same. Like his whole end goal, he didn't care about nothing else. What he was doing, who was hurting in that, and it, all that stuff comes back up because people was telling him to do the right thing, telling Reed to do the right thing. And he was like, "No, fuck that. I'm trying to. This is my goal. I don't care about none of that."
Yeah, it was like super selfish and just the ego and everything. But like that scene, I was just sitting here like, you piece of shit. I'm just like, if you didn't even take his money, none of this would be happening. He would have just been gone. But so Franklin played himself because he had too much trust in Reed. He had way too much trust in Reed. Because I'm sitting here like, you talking about getting out. I would have moved my shit before even telling him I was leaving. Because I'm just like, you think he just gonna let you walk away? That's like a gang member talking about, y'all, I'm gonna go to college. I'm gonna give me a full-time job. I'm gonna get out the gang life. You think they're gonna be like, all right, here go your farewell basket.
Your 401k.
Right. There you go. Do you want your PTO that you didn't take?
You want your rag too? Well,
right. Like they gonna jump your ass out or kill you.
Kill you.
So I'm just like, Franklin. Like it just.
Yeah, Franklin was. I mean, but he kind of talks about it later. He used them, but in the way that benefited him, and that worked out where it made it feel as if they were, in control.
Right. But now we got a scene where V is on her way to Miami to go do some shit she don't want to do, but she's doing it for Franklin. Would you have asked your lady to get back into that old life she told you she did not want to be back in?
I would have thought, man, if there was an opportunity or a chance that I could possibly get my money back, I would have tried to see. But I also would have took her into consideration in that because she's pregnant. So
right.
Yeah, that was a big ass ask of him. And the stuff that she's traveling with is all stolen. It's all illegal, and she already doesn't want to do that. So that's a lot.
Yeah. But since he's out here saying farewell to her, he finally calls Jerome back. And it's funny, like how Franklin and Jerome put such a high emphasis on the word nigga. Like I don't get offended, but I just be like, damn, that came from the heart. I was like, woo, Lord. But like, how did you feel about this like phone exchange? Because
I felt it.
Obviously, same. Because when I first watched it, I was just like, Jerome was just like, nigga, give me my money. And then I remember seeing like on Twitter, everybody went crazy off that line that Franklin dropped before he hung the phone up. You remember what he said?
No, I didn't write it down.
He was just like, my eyes been open since I got here, and them shit still open, nigga. And then he hung the phone up. I was like, whoo.
Yeah, nah, I felt it because it was a thing of, like you said, when y'all fucked me, I was supposed to just be cool with it. But now that it's happening back to y'all, now it's a problem. It don't, you know what I'm saying? It don't necessarily work like that. But, I do feel like Franklin was doing the fucking first. But hey, that's my thought. My thought in that. I mean, regardless, if I like Franklin more than Louie in that, I still think Franklin was still the worst of the bunch.
We holding everybody accountable around here. You already know where I'm at with that whole situation. So, but within this scene, this is where we see Louie tell Jerome that Franklin pulled a gun out on her. Do you think this was a good time to divulge this information?
It was manipulation. Everything to the way she was moved. Because why was, like I said, what was the reason of saying that at this point after everything that's going on? Let me not throw salt on. Let me not put a band-aid on the wound. Let me add some salt to it. Like, hey, so within that, this was what also happened in there. Let me throw that out there to you too. Let's see how you feel about that. What you want to do now? Like, come on. Nah.
When I saw it, because I be trying to root for Louie, but then I just be like, damn, sis, you making it hard. Like, I'm fighting for my life in these daggone chats to defend you, but I'm looking at you really strange. I'm like, Louie, that wasn't smart. Like, this happened a week ago. Why are you telling him now after getting off the phone? Like,
it was just yesterday, Jazz.
At least 3 days went by. Damn it. At least 3. But when, like, at that time, I was just like, shit, now we're going to see the fight between family and it's going to get intense. But I will say the shots so far in the season have been amazing because they do very good close-up shots in the perfect time to where you're not getting dialogue, you're just getting the facial expressions of the actors and you see the pain and the anger in their faces. And so the lighting and the camera angles that they did in this season, I saw it a lot and I was just like, oh shit. It just hit different to where it's not like a medium shot. You're not too close. Like you were up on Jerome's face when Louie was saying that. So I was just like, whoo, it gave me chills. Shit, I was sitting here like, I might want to be on Jerome's side. Frankly, it's not looking good for you, player.
He didn't already whooped you.
You said what?
He didn't already whooped you one time, so now you done did something to his wife, and no telling he might kill you this time.
A few times. So, but Teddy finds his hoe. All right, off that. Also, oh, I'm sorry. Teddy's storyline was just so boring to me. But also links up with the cops at the hotel. He's working with the DA. And they irritate me so much.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, y'all realize what you're asking him to do. You realize who's he's involved with, but y'all over here, we need to see something tomorrow. Bitch, what? Like, he got a family. He's not trying to get killed because one of his the partner, the cop that Oso's talking to, one of his partners already got killed doing this whole thing. So it just seemed just careless. I'm like, with something that y'all trying to do, trying to figure out your own government and their involvement in an illegal war, you might not want to try to put a deadline on this. Like, take your time. I mean, the motels you staying at probably $39 a week. So, like, I just
they were definitely they were definitely a bit too antsy for who they were. But then just given the whole circumstance, but this operation been running for X amount of years. I just want everything to just go the way y'all expect it to. Like it's not like we haven't began to build up enemies, all these different things over time. Like, you got to give me a chance to allow this to come in that feels naturally. Y'all just arrested me and told me my life is over unless I do XYZ. Like, bro, give me a chance.
Yeah, Oso was freaking out. I mean, I get it because it's not just him. Like, he's thinking about his family and he knows how dangerous Teddy is. But I was just like, every time I saw him dealing with him, I was just like, they gonna get my man killed. I was like, they really about to have Oso dead out here. But we see CC and Franklin's talk. Ooh, look, a monologue.
We knew.
Look,
we knew. We knew. Sissy was alright. She was at the point that Franklin was, but she had a better demeanor about it. She kept it up, and watching Sissy's motivation this season, everything was pretty much set in stone from episode 1. She told you what she was gonna do, how she was gonna do it, and when she was. There was no ifs, ands, buts about any of that.
Yeah, like when you
I felt it.
When you do your rewatch and you see how everything is, and then you look at this scene, it hits so differently.
I was like, oh, right. She been plotting for a minute.
And like, she was about that. She was ready for that. And like, I got some of the quotes that she said. She was just like, Teddy spared my life because in his mind, I posed no threat to him. Ooh. She's like, and then when she was just like, fuck Teddy, fuck the CIA, and fuck the government. You said what? You
barely even saying it, and I still got chills just because of how she did it. Nah, shout out to Miss Barksdale. she did that.
I mean, being D'Angelo mama, Avon's sister, and Franklin's mama. Look, say what you want.
Out here. And Jerome's sister.
Damn, that's crazy. But like that monologue she gave, and she was just like, fuck the government that supported them. She was like, I was gonna do whatever it takes to not only destroy him, but to make sure he knew it was me. like Franklin didn't realize or probably pay attention to what she was saying with those words, which could have helped you. But I was just like that whole scene gave me chills. And then he's just sitting here like, all right. Like he was too calm for me to be like he was about that life or ready to do what Sissy was ready to do her damn self. Like she was trying to get Teddy out of here.
Yeah, no, she was at that point already, and I mean, Franklin was willing to do things, but Sissy was already there.
Right. But then we have the meetup. Franklin's bodyguards link up with D and his boys. They go ahead and do the exchange.
Man, I wonder. I feel like this scene would have not this scene, but it would have gone a different way hadn't they were late. They were late to the meetup because they had the kids, and I feel like that's what kind of threw them off track, off time with the actual meetup. And I wonder if that would have made a difference in the situation because it gave them. You don't think so?
Hell no. It was just too many pieces of setup because like you got 2 extra cops on top of Buckley, so I was just like nah, and they didn't do this in no abandoned space. It was y'all was in front of a chicken spot.
I need Buckley to get one in his eyes, man.
Yeah, Buckley he's a piece of shit for sure. But I was just sitting here like, and I felt so bad for the ladies because also in this camera angle, right? Because you see them, you're basically getting a camera angle over their shoulder, and they just talking like,
defensive.
You said what?
They were like defenseless, like they wasn't in like an aggressive mode. They were just like.
They having a good time. They were just like, Franklin, these hours, I ain't had no dick in a while. And they just laughing, all of that stuff. And they just having girl talk. It's like, damn, sis, Franklin got you like that. Can't Franklin hook you up one of his homeboys or something? But then they get pulled over. And so it was Diamond the one that was driving?
So it's Dallas is the one that is the passenger. Beverly is the one that's driving. I think Beverly is the one that's driving.
So
Dallas Club. I think they were called Dallas Club.
Okay. Because Beverly is like calm. She's like, girl, don't worry about it. If they try to check the car, just call Franklin Louie. She's like, what the fuck he gonna do? Like, these are cops. They can do whatever. So they already knew, like, we didn't do nothing. The law not gonna help you. Obviously, this is a setup. And so they pulling their guns out, get out the car. They're just like, shit, you can't do nothing. You just got to get out. And then that's when Buckley opened the trunk. And already I didn't think this scene was going to go the way that it did because you have way too many witnesses. And when Jerome got out the car, I was just like, all right, maybe he won't do nothing too crazy. And he was basically asking him like, where's the stash house? The ladies don't know because they even asked Franklin in the scene prior to this was like, if you just tell us what a stash house is, we won't be late. Franklin's like, nah, fuck that. I'm not telling y'all nothing, but was smart. Because if he did tell him, Jerome definitely would have found out where it was. But did this scene change your view of Jerome? Do you feel like he took it too far, or
he definitely
his motivation was valid?
He went too far, but it's the game. Unfortunately, that's the game they play. So when you go into it, you're in there with your armor on. So you have to be mindful of any situation. And when they in the way that they've gone into it, they're head first. They're killing, knocking people off. Like it just that's the karma of that situation. Like if you bring in that around you, regardless if you're in or out the game, years down the road, it can still come back here to catch you. And that's unfortunately what happens here.
Yeah. At first when I saw it, I was like, nah, he ain't go too far with it. Or no, I didn't think she was. Damn. Well, if you listening to this episode, you don't watch the first 5, so fuck it. I didn't think he killed her. I was just like, maybe she just like might be in a coma or some shit for a while. Franklin pay her medical bills. I thought that. But we see how that goes in the next episode. Was there anything else from episode 1 that you wanted to cover or mention?
I don't think so. I think that was the end of that episode.
So episode 2, the sit down. And I also appreciate the titles of these episodes because they reflect what you're going to see in the episode. Sometimes people just be naming shit randomly. But Franklin, he found out about Beverly. He goes to the hospital and he's just like, how is she? And we find out that Beverly passed away. R.I.P. to the OG. And so Sissy comes over. They, her and Franklin are gonna go link up with Ruben, who's with the KGB. They have a sit down. Franklin did a lot of sit downs, right?
He did. I didn't even do the knowledge. Okay, I see what you're doing.
Hey, yo, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So
would you have sat down with him?
Yes.
With Ruben, you would.
I didn't see, like, I didn't like his character because of what he did to Javi, but I did not see outside of that a threat that could have came from his character. Like, he just wanted Teddy. So,
but did he though? Because within that situation, to get to Teddy, you needed somebody else, and because Franklin was a middleman in that situation, that kind of put Franklin in the line of it as well. Because Sissy's whole thing was, you're not gonna take my son out of it. Like you're not gonna. We can do everything, but don't incriminate my son. And he couldn't really guarantee nor promise that. Like later he started pretending as if he could, but I don't think he really had a true say in that situation.
Okay, so you basically think if they would have worked with him, Franklin was gonna end up locked up.
Locked up or dead. I mean, we seen it with Javi. That was Javi did the arms, Franklin did the drugs. What made the situation? I mean, I guess because Franklin was cooperating. I guess because he felt like Javi was just a liar. So that's why he got Javi out.
He gave him all that information that he needed.
And that's the other thing. Like I don't trust Ruben. But nothing about Ruben made me trust him at all.
That's true. Because he killed Javi because he was just like, he can't be trusted. But I'm just like, motherfucker, you can't be trusted because you put your mama saying that you would let him survive on your mama's grave. Ruben ain't shit. All right, you've convinced me. But so Franklin is telling him when he first met Teddy, and then we hear that short story. So it reminded me because I was just like, damn, I do remember when Teddy rode up on Franklin, T-boned him, and had Franklin locked up in a damn nasty ass sewage for like days. And this is the man he decided to trust. Franklin, man. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they work, but I guess I don't know. I don't know, man. He should have had some kind of outside source, outside line, or something. He should have been setting himself up, like, or trying to clean the cash to put the cash away, as opposed to something that Teddy can still get his hands on. Right. Like he overplayed his hand, I guess, in that he too trusting, like you said.
Yeah, because I think like all the stuff that Teddy showed him and taught him, then Franklin was just like, oh, this is somebody I can trust, because if I can't trust him, why is he introducing all this stuff to me, like teaching me how to fly, like getting these accounts and everything. And then it took him 6 seasons to realize why, to where it's just like he was playing me the whole time, like, yeah, but you know,
he laid it on thick,
right? But Jerome and Louie link up with one of their contacts. So I appreciated the scene because anytime we see ASL in series, we always bring it up and we always talk about it. So you definitely see that here. The thing that Jerome did, I'm not gonna lie, I felt bad that I laughed when he was like, yeah.
He said he was doing rat. He was doing the rat.
I was like, damn, Jerome, like, come on, man. But in this scene, if you like on my rewatch, I was looking at how they didn't acknowledge Louie. And Louie is kind of like the one at the front, and then Jerome is like the backup. But Jerome has to be there because when you're dealing with all these different deals, they looking at him, they not looking at you. And so I didn't realize it on my first watch, but on my rewatch, I was just like seeing the different interactions that they had. And this was the first one where Louie's like, 24 hours, we'll have what you need. And then the dude that they were talking to was looking at Jerome. He didn't even acknowledge Louie. And so that definitely comes back up. I was just like, did you notice that when you was watching of how people came at Louie crazy.
Yeah,
disrespect.
all season they were doing it. But I mean, I feel like it probably was happening prior to. In that, I felt like played either into maybe her ego or maybe her confidence, because it was a thing of, I'm gonna prove myself. Like, I can prove that as a woman I can be this person without him being next to me. Like, it doesn't have to be him. But you, on the rewatch, I definitely peeped it. Like, a lot of people was like, whenever, no matter where they stood, they always, only Teddy felt like he respected the relationship that they had. Like, because when we know when Franklin was out and she took over, that's who he had to deal with. That's who he talked to. That's who he kind of showed the ropes to. So it was a thing of, he didn't care who it was, man or woman in there. But the rest of the people that they were dealing with, yeah, it always talking to him, and they talking through her to him type thing.
Yeah, I was just like, damn, we seeing her villain form. But some people will say Louie was a villain since season one. But
I don't know.
I'm not gonna say that.
I
But
don't know.
how did you feel about their interaction? Because we finally see Scully.
Ah, man, I loved it. I enjoyed I enjoyed Scully's character. Like I said, whenever they decided to kill Scully, I was like, why kill Man Boy? That's y'all biggest problem. Regardless of what you feel and what you think about Scully, how he do things, just Man Boy is probably the better option to keep, but Man Boy also the better option to fuck y'all. So yeah, definitely get rid of Scully. But it was nice. Like I said, he was talking about the universe and everything. Also in the rewatch, I noticed everything was always talking about family. So even with the gentleman who was deaf, he was like, family is important to me. I'm not trying to hang out with none of these people. I'm trying to go back to my family. That's the most important thing. And he, same exact thing. Pay attention to family. Who paging it, bro? Answer that. That's the universe talking to you. Why aren't you answering it? And they told him come to the Sunday dinner. And Louie, her whole defenses are up. She, and it's hard. Like I said, it's hard to like Louie because her whole thing is stay away. But I also get it because when you in that game, Sissy could be into it. But I don't think Sissy would have played her brother in that.
Right.
So I don't know why she even was saying something like that, because she hadn't been in any situation where she played somebody. I don't think. Well, we had the situation where we don't know if she played Alton or not, in the house. But I remember when that happened. We thought,
We
we
did.
thought,
Yeah.
this season kind of gives more light, sheds more light to the situation. But yeah, I enjoy seeing Scully, and I appreciated that they brought him back so we can see where he's at. In there, he said, "I gave y'all a peace offering to open y'all minds and y'all hearts and y'all souls," which
I wouldn't eat nothing in his house either. Like, you had my entire wedding party and guests high off LSD. Like, yo, no, I don't even want no bread from your house, my nigga. Like, nah.
Yeah, come to do another party though. We gonna invite him over, see
Bruh.
what else we can get in
End up
Central with.
thinking you walking on the wall. You on the floor in fetal position. But like, how did you feel about Scully's hamburger phone? Like this, like seeing Jerome's head with that hamburger phone. I'm sitting here like, what the hell is this shit?
I couldn't make out what that was. I'm like, what kind of phone is this? So it's just honestly, all that just goes with who Scully is. Honestly, because Scully was just like a wild card at any given time, but he was about business. He wasn't gonna do nothing shiesty. He wasn't gonna do anything sideways. He was truly just focused on just getting his money, staying out the way, focused on his family. So now that just went along with it, man. That was just a little funny little tidbit, he had that.
Yeah. And then he gave them the origami, and we see what Louie
Yeah,
does with hers. And I was just like,
I just peeped it on the rewatch. Like
I
that
was
was the
like,
karma. That's karma. You think that was karma?
absolutely. Because it's definitely one of those things to where when I first saw it, I was like, damn, you just sealed your own coffin. I'm like, Louie gonna end up dying. But then,
Somebody's.
right. But then it's just like, bruh. Because it's just like, she's so focused on, like you said, that respect of her people trying to take her serious. It's meaning more to her than her family. She's not realizing what Jerome is feeling. Because, like, if you look at, like, and then, like, a lot of these scenes is definitely foreshadowing for Jerome. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's just, he don't want to be arguing with his family. He not trying to do none of that because he knows like when the family not together, nothing is going to like pieces not gonna come together. But Louie just like fuck all that. So you need to go ahead and kill Franklin. But I was just like, I also didn't like how she was like, so you still going to that dinner? So like you said, I was just like, why would you ask that? Just like, why would you wait till Jerome is completely pissed off to say Franklin put a gun out on me?
Yeah.
So it's like she was moving a bit maliciously, and I don't know if it was intended or on. Are you able to be possibly shady? Like I don't know how to. But
Yeah, I mean, so in that, I get it. I get where she was coming from. It was the whole thing of being defensive, but Sissy being involved with it, I never would have put a red flag would never go up in my head in that.
right. But then we have Franklin meets V's mom.
Sit down.
Yes. So what did you think about her character?
She's so beautiful. Tamara, I think it was Tamara. I was looking her up, yeah, because she
was in a Tyler Perry movie, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't
I
remember which
believe
one it
so.
was.
I believe so. But she like I enjoyed her character. It was, I mean, presenting the way she was presented is like she's super shisty, the way she moves in that, but foreshadowing again, it was always be. She said that. She was like, I may have left, I told you to stop, and you the one that kept pushing it. And so while you went to jail, this is what happened, and you the one. No, that's not what happened. She was like, that's not what happened. Remember, you the one that did that. I was telling you to stop. Like that wasn't the rules as far as when it comes to it. So it was like it's just those little bitty things that they were writing in there that you have to actually pick up on, like to actually catch it. But I liked it. We get more perspective later down the road, which I'll bring back up with it. But yeah, it was. You definitely have to be like I say, you got to be careful of the company you keep. But I feel like if V trusted her, it was a situation. That's who you went to. So Franklin there was nothing Franklin can really say in that situation. But okay, at that point,
right. But then we get back to Sissy and Jerome. They have a nice little family engagement. That family sit down. They have some food. They bring up a memory from their childhood, and Sissy just tells him, right, like face to face, like you and Franklin are the last men of the blood, like the bloodline. And she just like, it's on you. She's telling Jerome that. Mm-hmm. And so Jerome, like you can see it in his face. He's just like, it's a lot because he knows like there are odds. He doesn't want to be there, but it's like circumstances put them there. It's just like he stole from me. And it's just like, look, you got to get past that money. You got to get past that product and think about family. Which, if Scully was around more, he could be preaching to them, family, y'all, fuck that money, because you can build that money back up once your family is back together. Because you see, like when all of them are separated, wasn't nobody having nothing positive going on. But when they were together, they were strong. They were a unit. Mm-hmm. And so, like, you just like think about that, and it's just like, damn, like all of this is. Whew.
The writing this season was amazing. Some people they're gonna say this, but the writing this season was amazing. Like even like those little bit those small tidbits. You go back and watch, you're like, oh man, they have been setting this up for X amount of time. Like it's been that. But I like I said within the conversation that they were having, they were just like I said. She mentioned their dad. Well, he mentioned their dad as far as how he looked and how he felt about him, and that. And she was like, oh, that's how you saw it. Or that's how you felt about that situation. And just piggybacking on what you said is, them being, I guess he was the patriarch of the family at that point. And then, Franklin was next in line. And that's a tough situation. Being the one that has to it's kind of like you almost have to take it on the chin in how you going to handle that situation. But Sissy was thinking big as far as what's going on with the outside world with Teddy. That's where she is, like CIA, government, family, boo, boo, boo. Franklin, them, they thinking about everything that's going on amongst them within this, just that whole pride thing. Hey, I did this, you did that, woo, woo, and it's being the person that take it on the chin. it's a lot tougher for them to be the one to be like, I'm cool with it. No, some people are you because Jazz, if you was Jerome, what you doing? Your nephew, the man that you raised or helped raise, has robbed you of your money and put you in a bind of where you can't afford to do or you can't do X, Y, Z. How you going about that?
I mean, it's tough. Like to have a sober mind and think like, oh, it's easy to be like, I'll just make it back up later. But it's like he doesn't have that mindset. He's just like emotions are fuming. He's just feeling betrayed. He's just feeling like, how did we get here? And when your emotions evolve, like you said, pride, disrespect, and then money. So it's easy to say for somebody like, oh, he could just, it's not that big of a deal. But it's just like most people can't handle situations when their emotions are high. Imagine a pride getting involved. Imagine like, oh, this person disrespected me. And then you think into your mind, if I just say, you know what, I'm going to take an L on this. Let's just go ahead and fix this and get back together. And what's done is done. In the back of your mind, you thinking, how do I know this won't happen again? But be worse. So you're like, you got those kind of things going through your mind. You're just like, nah. And why I got to be the bigger person when they are at fault as well. So it's hard to be like, okay, I can go ahead and say it was my fault. But if they sit here act like they ain't do nothing, then it's just like you ain't learned nothing from that situation when both parties are at fault. So it's, I mean, I can understand the battle from within that Jerome is going through.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like I said, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on between them two, which the episode ends with them, but in between that, we see the KGB, he playing that Franklin tape back to, I guess, his superior, his boss. They trying to go ahead and make a move. They're trying to make a move on, I guess, Teddy. Not on Teddy. They want to make a move on Teddy or Reed, the same exact person. And that's when links up. Links up with Franklin at a wrestling match. That's how the season. That's how this show began, at a wrestling match. Franklin going to go see Oso, the wrestler, the amazing, and they're having a conversation. And they're, Franklin doesn't know why Oso is having a conversation, but it felt like it was based on one thing. But it was definitely him trying to feel him out, trying to figure out who Ruben, who the KGB, who Ruben was. He basically, Franklin looking for anybody that can give him information, and he's willing to do whatever he got to do for it. He ain't got no money, but he definitely offering up a whole bunch of money every time something happens.
I'm like, you the richest broke person I know. You ain't got $10 million, nigga. We already know you stole 3.5 from Louie and Jerome. Where the other 6.5 coming from? Where it's coming from?
He didn't even steal 3.5. He stole $1 million. The other was just product.
Man, look.
Nah.
In this scene though, when Franklin was just like, I know where you know him from. And then when he was like Louie and Jerome's wedding, I'm not gonna lie, I got chills. I said, oh shit. And I don't know why I got chills, but I was just like, it was just how he delivered that. Look, I need my man to be in a horror movie, a good one. Jordan Peele, please.
Franklin?
Yes.
Yeah. I need him. Yeah, I need him in something.
But not too many projects, because too many projects, your name be in the news too much. Well, no need too much attention, but like too soon. All right. My bad. Let's reel it
in. Yes, please. Like, like I'm with you. Don't get too many projects, because niggas they get stuck in acting. Like, I don't know what they got going on. He was in Swarm though.
He was trash as fucking that though. Like, like his acting was trash.
But it's a trash person. He was a completely different person though. Of the three things I've seen him in, it was different. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was more modern. He was
Tyler Perry calling him right now. I got the perfect role for you.
Just say no, Idris, please do not go on a Tyler Perry film, please.
He probably gonna give him braids. That's gonna be shitty. Franklin,
man, he better, if he get braids, he better go find whoever was doing up Leon.
No, that's his real hair though. Leon hair been You know
He
what?
need to
Okay.
grow it.
Yeah, he do. Leon should lay, but we haven't seen Leon yet.
He haven't.
So the sit down between Franklin and Jerome.
Bitch made.
So this was heavy. This scene was definitely heavy, and the monologues, the scenes, the impactful engagement that these two actors have shown, that shit was touching because you
the,
see the emotions in Jerome.
the growth in their acting, because
Oh
I've
yeah.
never I can't recall seeing Jerome in anything else. So if you can correct me if I'm wrong if you know him out from something. So like just the growth of seeing him and Franklin from season 1 to now has been amazing. I was going to ask you, where does this scene rank as far as snowfall scenes? My favorite isn't the one that everybody calls out.
You
But
talking
I was gonna
about
say this
when they were in the car.
in the car. That's not my favorite. I feel like that scene's overrated personally, but that's not one of mine. Yeah, when Leon visited Franklin in jail and he told him to go take care of their business, I was in that bitch like I'm finna go fight somebody for you, Leon. Like pause. But yeah, I was like I'm finna go knock some niggas out.
If you was Franklin though, like I would be sitting there at like Franklin had just got fucked up. I would just be like, you just wasted this dope speech on me. I'm half alive right now. My eyes hanging down my nigga, go tell the speech to somebody else. I almost died last night. That's how Franklin looked in that scene. So now you wildin' though. The one in the car was not overrated. He's like,
That's
I
to me
built
because
this shit.
everybody go back to it. I'm like, I mean, yeah, we understand it, but like the one in the I guess in the jail is more pivotal to me because it's a thing of. So you go back to that scene. Did Franklin listen to what the fuck he was saying, as far as what he built, how he did it, and listening and all these different things? Like it didn't really matter. It's at least in the Leon scene, it was a thing about earning your respect and keeping it. Like you can't just let people bully because Franklin got his ass whooped for 2 seasons. Like almost every episode too, somebody was putting hands and feet on that boy.
And he got shot a few times. Yo, this man have been through a lot. Yo, why does he not have a vest? Get a bulletproof vest, my nigga. Like,
Man,
but I mean, that I can't think of any scenes like off the top of my head, but I will say this season has at least 2 to 3
got you.
alone.
Got you.
Alone.
Yeah, it's some they some acting fools in this show. They had some. You have to have people that can do something like, and this is what you know. This is how you get a matriarch that can do some things. No shot at the mother on Ghost, but yeah, Monet Tejada, I'm ready for you to die. But I'm gonna pass it back. That's Mary J. Blige character if you didn't know.
I'm sitting here like, is he talking about another show? I don't watch Ghosts, but
Yeah,
damn, you trying to get Mary out of here? That's
horrible.
tough.
Or if they had somebody like I need I need her real name. But who Sissy, somebody like her over there, that show it's already, I mean the writing and everything is already good, but if you had the actors to fill in those roles like that as somebody that's pivotal in the show, that'd be that show would be on another level.
So you just said Mary can't act.
She can't, not on there at least.
Ooh, all right. But so this scene was very extremely impactful, and we see that little girl from the opening scene from episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Jerome, well, Franklin thought it was smart to say his whole speech, but then to call Louie that hoe he married, and and then Jerome just smacked Franklin across the face twice. Franklin pulled out a gun on Jerome like he did on Louie. Yo, he just keep pulling his shit out. Like,
You ain't pulling it though. You just pulling it up.
right, he just scaring folks. But he leaves out of the diner. And it's funny because a lot of people was just like he channeled in his Denzel in that scene because how he was walking across the street. Like, I was like, yo, what? And the soundtrack in this season also perfect.
It has been.
Because soon as Franklin gets into the car, song starts playing, and then he breaks the third wall. And so he looks at us. or is it a fourth wall? Excuse me.
It's fourth wall.
Fourth wall. So he looks at us, and I'm like, "Don't look at me, my nigga. I didn't smack you. Jazz didn't smack you, so don't cut your eyes at me, Franklin." But I was just like, "Oh shit." So we had about 4 to 5 sit downs during this entire episode. Was there anything else that you wanted to cover in this before we go to episode 3?
We get to Ghana. No, I don't think so. I think that's everything that's important. I mean, we skipping over Teddy's story for the most part. So yeah, no.
I told you what energy I was on. Fuck that, motherfucker. Teddy can kick all the rocks.
Was that the wait? Let me see something real quick. I was saying no, it wasn't yet when Carissa she told Teddy to just keep the money and don't give it back to the government. Not yet.
That whole too. All right, so episode 3, Door of No Return. And like you just said, we are in Ghana. I was so afraid for them because of this episode, because of how it started and where we saw them and the happiness that, because when's the last time we had a full-on happy, no drama episode?
You're not gonna, it's just season 6. We can't get none of them no more.
Well, we got a little, like 20 minutes. And I was just like,
they
look so happy, like Wanda off that crack. I'm so proud of her. I loved her character development. But then again, when you go from not being on crack to being on crack and then getting off of it and going to Africa, everybody should root for your success. I mean, shit, she went through a lot.
She has.
And she got shot.
Man,
her
pulled a tooth out.
Bro, when she did that shit and she hit Mel with the skate, yo, that's crazy. Yo, Wanda done had a life. But like, how did you feel? Because I believe they really did go to Ghana to shoot this.
They did.
So what during this whole thing, like the shots, the visuals, the costume design, like what were you feeling during this scene?
It was beautiful. The entire thing was beautiful. I definitely wondering. A question and like if I want to go. Like it looked that good. But it was nice to see Lee in a happy space because the entire time he always seemed like he was mad about something. Like the entire time he seemed like he was mad. So it was dope catching back up with them, seeing where they at, seeing, what their thought process. But unfortunately, he can't let the hood go. Within that, he looks up, he sees that scene of that gentleman, with the sign. It's like the errors of the past must be corrected in order to reestablish the confidence of our people in a secure future. And that was weighing on him. So then when they went to that tour, it definitely got to him.
I'm sitting here like, Wanda, he on the fence. Don't send him on no tours that's having him think about his past, sis. You supposed to be throwing every sign at him to keep him there. Everything. I was like, block any kind of sign that's talking about the past. Don't go on no emotional tours of like, oh, go back to your roots. Get all of that shit out of his daily routine. Just have him think about his future. Because I was just like, Wanda. And she was just like, I don't think we need to go back. And he's like, nah, we do. I'm just like, send him a postcard. Like, something. I'm definitely not going back.
Yeah, they talk, but before they leave, the gentleman he was talking to at the ceremony, he talks about it. Once we get there, I can bring that piece up. But I like, when they on that tour, they went on like I keep wanting to say a virtual tour, but they went on like a
in the 80s?
Yeah, exactly. Like what? No, it's definitely not a virtual tour back then. No, definitely not. What? I mean, because it like a.
It might have been like a historical tour.
Okay, there we go. A historical tour where we find what we know. They were saying basically black slavers put black people into slavery. They had a war. The loser got put into slavery and they got sold. And they said like over 2 million people perished, and they were having funerals and ceremonies for people that hadn't passed. They just were gone, and then just how much history was lost or stolen or was corrupted within that time, or just stuff that we don't know because of them being thrown in, and that played onto Leon because he walked away during the actual speech, and him and Wanda. They sat down and had a real deep conversation, and that was hard when he was saying, I think crack was almost worse than slavery, because he said that at least with slavery, you give them opportunity, they're not looking back. But a person that did crack, they may always look back for that taste.
Yeah, that was definitely deep. And I'm sure it obviously hit hard for Wanda because she was someone who was on crack. And it took her a very long time to shake that, especially after she became sober and she was helping the people in that home. But she was just like around it so much. So I think like that quote that he definitely said to her hit home for her. So, but then they were just like, let's get married.
Exactly. Might as well, we ain't getting no younger. We might as well do it.
Hey.
Yeah, so they get married. Nice, beautiful ceremony. Like I said, beautiful couple.
It wasn't open bar though.
You said it wasn't?
Hell no. Did you see open bar anywhere? I'd be like, come on, Lee. I done came all the way from the States. Damn, my nigga, can I get something to drink? Nah, but
yeah, that was a beautiful ceremony that they had, and that the conversation you had one of the gentlemen there, he was like, why does all these different people, all these different cargo and people that they had, it took so much. So why does one person think that they can stop it? Basically, essentially letting Leon know, like, you one man trying to go back to the States and stop things that could possibly get you killed. What's your point? There really isn't.
yeah.
So that was that's what would you do? You would have stayed, right?
Yes, but yeah, I wouldn't have went back. But I think also because Leon was very informed of things that was going on, like different policies that were being passed, and so when thinking you're just one man, this was in the 80s. Leon saw MLK, Malcolm X, and possibly what's my other guy name? Damn, I can't think of his name. But just like
Nelson Mandela. Well, that was
Medgar
Africa.
Evers.
Medgar, got you.
And so those were also just one individual that was making such a huge impact. And so maybe in his mind, he was thinking, these are people that I know, people that I work with alongside with. Maybe if I can show them what I'm seeing, it can save their life. But also, and it's just, I think he had such a big heart and so much hope. That's what got him on that plane. I'm not getting on that fucking plane. Like, I'm gonna write y'all a postcard. Somebody send me something back so I know who's still there, who all there. But it's just, I can somewhat understand the battle, but then also the risk was so high because you don't know how they would treat you once you came back. And we saw that. We saw as he was making his rounds to see different people, some of them had aggression towards him. Hell, almost everybody did, because they just like, nigga, you left us here to go to Africa. So you have to think of like you having a financial ability to just leave, have that money, left us here hungry, not having a connect, not having nobody to lead us, and things could have been a lot more different because they might have been safer under Leon, but now Big D in charge, he over here talking to them like they ain't shit. So it's just, it's like all of that. It's definitely a tough situation, but I wouldn't have left.
Nah. When they make it back, it's not like Ghana no more. Everything that's going on.
How'd you feel about this flashback? I mean, because we had Einstein was telling.
The montage.
Yeah, the montage. Like, how'd you feel about that? Seeing.
I love that's. I think that was one of my favorite scenes. That montage, just how it was played out, just going through what everybody was doing, and like I said, even when it got down to Franklin, like I said, it started with Franklin, so it was just like I said, that was chaos, just pure chaos. Everybody getting popped from, D pulling people, Roman Louie getting pulled on, Kane pulling people out. It was just a whole, like I said, just a whole lot of chaos. And then Leon, like, wait, but Franklin out the game. Like, what does he have to do with any of this? So he's getting caught up and he's getting pieces from each person, which plays a big part later in the season. What Franklin is willing to do. If he actually get his back against the wall, he hit rock bottom. He goes to D and D line, essentially, because he's like, what beef you and Franklin got? Man, none. He lost everything. That's what he's trying to do. Trying to get everything back, get it from me. That's not the truth, bro.
He's so
He
arrogant.
killed that. He killed that girl. That's why he mad about it. That's what he mad at. Like that was a situation. She didn't have to be in it. Like you put her in it, and that's why I was saying D a hoe. He didn't have to. And in those situations, he played his role to make a situation whatever whatever it was. But
yeah, I think he already picked his side, and he was on Jerome's side. And I mean,
shit, was he? Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say the percentage is higher on Jerome's side than it is on anybody else's side.
If we put them next to people, yeah, but I really don't know. I feel like he was playing for himself, truly.
I mean, I guess if he had to pick between Louie, Jerome, or Franklin.
Oh yeah, because he definitely talked to Louie. He talked crazy to Louie in front of Jerome, but yeah.
we ain't got there yet, but yeah, he should have got his ass beat a second time. But and so like D and Leon are talking, and so he's seeing how things are under D. D's over here shooting out the daggone lights on the playground. Leon like, why them lights out? I'm sorry, if I would have been D, I'd have been like, why you asking me about lights? You just got back to the States. You had like, why is this important to you? I was just like, why? But then I was just like, okay, something's gonna happen to where the lights gonna get fixed. I was just like, it was just foreshadowing. But I was just like, Leon, that's the first thing that come to your mind. Like, yo, where the lights at? We want them to be able to play outside with some lights. But as Leon was making his rounds, Wanda was also making rounds. Wanda rode up at her grandma's house, like everything was cool, like everything was sweet. Like she said, bye, grandma, I'll see you when I come back. Obviously, that is not how Wanda left that.
Not at all.
I'm like, not Wanda, you must not remember the last time you saw her, because sis opened the door like, what you want? Like, oh, clutch my pearls. Like, damn, grandma, like, what's going on?
Speaking of pearls, where are they?
So I appreciated this scene because we see the result of a family member like stealing from other family members due to that addiction. Now we remember it. I don't remember us really seeing too much of it since Mel, when Mel was taking all the stuff out of her bedroom and trying to get high. And so we see like so much time probably has passed because since Wanda was on crack and her visiting her grandmother, and her grandmother just seemed like her anger just seemed so fresh. Like it had happened last week, but it probably happened years ago. But just like you was in here cussing me out, beating on me, doing all of this.
She probably hadn't seen her since
when she was using.
Yeah.
And so you see Wanda's reaction to that. And it like when that happened, it don't seem like Wanda even thought about it. Like,
Wanda said, I'm not a rock no more.
That's the past. That's not me.
To you.
But it's like you probably haven't seen her in so long and you've been doing good, but the last time she saw you, you were somebody completely different. So do you think her grandmother like should have reacted differently? Do you think she should just forgive and forget? Or do you think like her reaction was like, I can understand?
Man, I
it's
don't know.
Tough.
That's a man. Because Wanda was doing a lot. Like even with Mel, I wouldn't be cool with her again if I was Mel. She knocked out and took her money, bro. It's over with. Imagine somebody she living with what she was doing to that person. Right. Nah, it's over with. It's raps.
So you think that aggression was warranted, even if she is clean and brought you some gifts from Ghana?
She told her right. Leave it on the. If you don't leave it, cool. Leave it on the doorknob. But you ain't coming to my motherfucking house. Like
you think her grandma was wearing it? Do you think she got it? Was like, oh, this my.
She probably ripped that shit up. let it fall. But it was one of them situations where you gotta think, like on Atlanta, they never let Aaron back in the house. Like, bro, after you fucked us, we done with you, bro. Like, it's not and it's not necessarily a hard thing. It's just a boundary, you know. You gotta, unfortunately, you gotta draw them sometimes, even for family members.
Ooh, you ain't got to tell me, cause well, we're not gonna hit too close to home today, but absolutely, because it's
Yeah.
just, especially when you see that part of them, you just like, how do I know you're not gonna go back down that road? I don't want to, like, nah. You got to close that door, like, nah. Thanks for the necklace, though. I'll wear it to church, but get the fuck off my porch.
Gotta go.
But so Leon goes and checks out Louie and Jerome. I don't think their aggression was warranted.
It wasn't.
I was just like, I did not like it. Like, Leon, he just got back into the country. He bringing gifts to y'all niggas. Like, he probably had to check his bag for all of those gifts he brought back to y'all, and that's extra. I don't even know how much a check bag was in the 80s. Probably like $6, but still, that could be a lot.
Exactly.
I'm just, when Jerome was like, take that shit with you, and I was like, Rome, come on, Rome.
Well, but Rome is just frustrated at this point. Like, everything that's going on, he's spoken to the guy that stolen from him. He's still disrespecting him. I don't feel like he tried to fix the situation like Sissy told him to do, because he led the conversation. And he said, "I didn't know you'd be a scandalous bitch ass nigga." So I mean, like, he didn't make a situation better at no point. Cause Franklin was just like smiling, like, okay, we may be able to resolve this. So he took all that aggression he had in that, and he brought it to this situation with Leon. And I guess because later in the episode, Frank kind of tell you gotta pick a side. Like, you dipped on the situation, but now you got to pick. But Frank, but I feel like Rome did try to do the same exact thing afterwards. But
nah, yeah, you're right. I just felt so bad for Leon because he just came. Here's a wedding gift. I haven't seen y'all. It's just no aggression.
he understood the situation because he was like, "You may not want to hear this from me, and I do apologize, but I'm gonna tell you anyway."
And then when Rome was like, "You're not even family," I was like, "My nigga, come on!" Like,
Yeah, he was
Leon been
dirty.
there since season 1.
He was dirty for that.
I was
He was
like,
dirty. So but he was basically just telling him to stay out of it because he knew Leon would go there.
yeah, he would definitely side with Franklin on that for sure because that's his best friend. But I was just like, I feel bad for Leon because, like, you was in Ghana, all that positivity, Black unity. Then you come back here and everybody just aggressive as hell. I would have just left. I would have left after leaving Rome and Louis crib. I'm like, fuck these niggas. Wanda, you ready?
Yeah,
Wanda would jump on the plane too.
we back at this thing now.
Yeah, we'll come back in a year and see if everything died down. Let's see who's left.
It'll be dead, all right.
But so I guess we could cover Teddy and Oso in Puerto Rico only because Oso is with him. That's the only reason why. But they go to
Costa Rica.
Yes, they go to Costa Rica. Costa Rica is nice.
I've never been.
Don't go in September to November. It's their rainy season. If you ever decide to go, because it'll be raining every fucking day. But obviously, it didn't rain when they went.
They did not. Sunny.
Bullets was flying. Nah, not that beautiful. Bodies was falling. Yo, can you imagine, like, somebody show you a brochure of Costa Rica and you see a shootout? Like, wait a minute.
Man, like, what's going on out here? But yeah, now that was I enjoyed that they got intel that some information was coming through Costa Rica, so they wanted to intercept it to figure out what is going on. You could say something?
Was that the KGB folks?
It was.
Okay, because I was wondering because
that's why they was mad right after, like, everything gone, everybody dead, everything missing.
I was like, Teddy, ain't no way you gonna go through a book bag, find a screw, and then unscrew.
Yeah, that was unrealistic. Like, for him to have at least one of them pieces on him inside the plane that he was on to find it.
You saw how much shit was on the floor?
You telling me they didn't have multiple of them?
that was one of that scene relates to that tiger scene from a few seasons. Like, yo, all right, y'all doing the most. It should have just been like a little small electronic device where it's like, oh, okay, I can see how you found that. Finding a damn screw at the bottom of a book bag. Stop. But
it was it was a clever idea though.
It was, but
it was a clever idea.
So then we see Leon stop by Franklin's crib. His crib all fucked up, but that's what happens when you in the game. People know where you live. They shoot up your crib or send the cops and mess up everything. I like this interaction between them because Franklin gave Leon the opposite energy that he got from when he went to go see Jerome. Franklin was just talking to him super calm, and he's just like, look, like you said, you just have to pick a side if you're gonna be here, because shit is not getting better, it's getting worse. So how did you feel about this scene and seeing them two talking in the dark with one candle lit? It was extremely romantic.
I mean, it was nice to see them together again, because Leon had been soul searching since he mistakenly killed Scully's daughter. So it was just nice to see them back, because Franklin was hoeing him in the last season, which I was glad he left, which I probably would have stayed on after that. Just so given their last interaction, which Franklin apologized for, he took accountability for how he was. He did, he kind of gave him out. He gave him his out in that, so he, Frank, Leon chose to stay by his friend or stay by his side. I guess. Well, I mean, I guess because he really didn't pick, but I mean, it definitely said. I don't think Jerome and Louie would have accepted his help, regardless of how that situation was going. But
they didn't accept his gift. So you're not accepting gifts. I know you're not accepting help.
Yeah, so I appreciated him, but then they're also aligned with D. I forgot about that. They aligned with D because he was to connect when he left. He aligned with Jerome, so Jerome them were working their own people. Franklin had his people, but then they had their own set of people.
Right. Was there anything else in this episode you wanted to cover?
In that one, I don't think so. No. Outside the KGB and the DEA are all getting antsy because everything that's going on. But but that's the same thing the whole time.
Boy, they be stressing so out. I'd be like, how about to have my man have a heart attack out here? But episode 4, Project Boys. They come up with a plan they find out who Teddy's accountant is. Because
William.
Earlier when Franklin was talking to V's mom, she was just like, he obviously has some help. And so as soon as we figure that out, we can figure out where the money is. She was informing Franklin of what they were going to do. But of course, Franklin's like, he's thinking, oh, this is going to get me my money tomorrow. No, my nigga, this is a process. Like, you got to be patient. You got to be cool. And he obviously super antsy. So they go to the accountant. They're using they're getting his help from his assistant, and they're able to get the documentation that they needed. They take it to Franklin. Franklin's like, yeah, so you just told me some shit I already knew. And so he just cuss out V Mama in front of me.
He was snapping.
Yo, V Mama is just sitting here like, keep on, because you need me more than I need you, and you might need to calm down. Like, you see a small collapse of Franklin anytime the money is mentioned. And I understand like $73 million, but you don't want to mess up your resources that's going to help you get your money back. But how are you feeling about Franklin? We're 4 episodes in, like, how you feeling about him and like how he's been?
He's not handling anything correctly, because he's just spiraling. And she said she's feeling unmotivated. He was like, well, 7.3 million should motivate you enough to get you to start moving. Like I said, he's not understanding or not listening, because I feel like it's a thing of, while it is 73 million, well, 73 million that you're going to get back in this situation. But what you're failing to realize is, because she's the one that's doing it, she probably also has been in a situation where she didn't get the money back. So it's a thing of, yes, we doing this, and it's just all a shot in the dark. We can get you closer to that situation, but I can't guarantee it. So that's what that fee then comes into. Yeah. Once if I think this can actually happen, that money that I just mentioned, yes, it's gonna be cool. But I truly don't know if it can happen.
Yeah. I think he was just like, she about to come in tomorrow. All right, here go your 73. Here you go in like suitcases.
Cases.
Like, Monday. Like that's not how that's gonna go, Franklin. Like you might need to relax. But he was just going crazy. And there were times where V was just like, Franklin, calm down. She didn't raise her voice enough for me. Like, I'm like, sis, raise it up a little bit. But
well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so we see Leon and Wanda, they're both doing I guess, save the hood scenes. That's what because like they were showing their different impact of like.
I got you. You correct.
Like I was just like, look at y'all saving the hood. Like
what did paperwork say? Save our hood.
No, represent for your hood.
But yeah, they doing it on different fronts. But you can. That was the whole point. That's what they were saying prior to. Like we can set up connects to do different things to make this work.
They would. Leon was like, you gotta go to college. You gotta like go ahead and apply, which is good because he's very like Einstein is very intelligent. It's just like you can do more than this. Mm-hmm. Even though you make all this money, but this game doesn't have a good end game for you. This ain't nothing people do until they retire. They're like, all right, I'm out, y'all. Let me go take my money and go live in Hawaii. Like it's
always looking over your shoulder.
Exactly. And if you got to carry a gun while you like doing papers, that don't sound like a fun kind of organization I'm trying to be a part of. And then you have Wanda walking around and she sees some guys pouring, looks like beer on a girl that's passed out.
They like that was spray painting her.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, either way. It
was messed up either way.
Yeah, and Wanda went to go save and help her out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because we know like Wanda was in that situation before.
Mm-hmm.
So, just seeing what they've been doing since they've been back, I thought was really good, but I was just like, it's going to start taking a toll on their characters.
Or kill them. One or two.
Right.
that's not. I mean, because when you have that light to a show or to it always gets killed, unfortunately, especially in a show like this.
Yeah, happy endings are very rare. So
somebody gets one.
Somebody, but it's like 20 characters in this bitch.
Not as many as The Wire though, which is my argument for why that's the better one. But I'm gonna let you continue.
We'll get to that. We're gonna say that for part 2. We're gonna say that for part 2. But so Kane is awake. Finally, so him and Franklin are able to talk, and Franklin is like, you're not producing enough. They're not cooking enough in your cookhouses. And so Kane is just like, I don't know what you want me to do about that. And so he was just like, I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna have them niggas cook. And so Kane told one of his henchmen, he was like, go with Frankie, tell them his word is my word. And Franklin's like, all right, so we about to roll up. Mm-hmm. So I want to go to the scene, and I believe it's still in the same, yes, it is, it's still in the same episode, where Franklin rolls up to Kane's cookhouse. And his dude's just in there, right? They just sitting there chilling, not really doing nothing. I'm just like, oh, y'all not cooking for real.
They kicking it. They was in there kicking it.
Chilling, like you're not producing nothing. And so you say his name was Todd?
That's the one that pulled up on her.
Todd was like, man, I don't know who this nigga is. And Franklin was like, oh, I'm about to show you. Burn that man's face. So this scene, I was like, Franklin, do you feel like it was necessary for him to do that?
It was. Because they were already, because if the second in command is here, what you shouldn't be saying anything. If you are somebody that works for this person, like this man brought this man, he told you Kane's word is his word. ain't nothing to be said. So somebody like that, they got out of line, which it shows right after that, because he went and linked up with Jerome and Louie, what type of person he was. So regardless if Franklin did that or not, he probably was going to make that call because Franklin challenged him. So he Franklin did what needed to be done, because you remember when that was like I think the only person Franklin killed was Mel's dad. He killed a second guy because he got out of line with him in the meeting in front of his people. He shot him in the head.
And then he killed his homeboy, his white friend.
Oh yeah. Well, so this was way before that, because he killed Kevin by mistake. He killed he killed Mel's dad on purpose, and he killed the other guy on purpose because he got out of line with him in front of his people. It's like, you can't do that. There's a line of command.
No, yeah, that makes sense. If you were Todd, what would you have done?
Shut the fuck up.
No, I mean, like,
I wouldn't
he burned your face.
Oh man, that would have been a tough one. I would have talked to Kane. I would have went to go talk to Kane as well. But then that's where it would have stayed. I wouldn't have went to Jerome and Louie though. Like, that wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been. I mean, because I don't know. It's the whole thing of having loyalty in these situations, man. That's typically what messes people up in the street stuff. Like, you switch over, you playing sides. Somebody gonna get burnt, and more than likely it's gonna be you.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true. But so then we see Einstein doing some paperwork, and then we see D come in because he's just like, you over it. So like, that scene was so, like, it was disheartening, because I'm just like, it's probably a lot of people that are in those situations where they're trying to better their situation, and there's somebody around them that's just like, you don't need all of that. What you got right here is fine. And he's just like, why were you paying to go to school and have somebody tell you something and you making 10 times as much as them? And it's just like, but this drug game ain't nothing you retire in, D.
It's nothing. And that would have, I feel like that would have been a better thing for Franklin to be involved with. But it made sense for where it was, because Franklin was the school kid. Like, Franklin was real good in school. He left for the money, but then at the same time, he went back to trying to get legitimate businesses for his money to work in. So it was the whole thing of how you can do it, and he's seen what happens staying in life. So yeah, I feel like Franklin should have been involved with that, but I like how they did it with who Leon character was, because of his growth and development through over the series.
Right, and he definitely has some good character development in this. And so in this scene, Leon's back and he's talking to D like, you need to put these lights back on. And so there were so many scenes where it was Leon and Wanda out chilling, and then you hear D saying some wild, disrespectful shit. He just like, ooh. He was saying some crazy stuff. Like, I think he said, "Oh, I used to fuck her anyway," or something like that. And I was just like, and Leon,
he was when she was a crackhead. That's when he was boning her. Not even when she was before the crack. You fuck the crack version of this woman.
Like, he makes good women decisions. But Wanda's clean now, so it's cool. But like, he just saying all this disrespectful stuff, and I was just like, Leon gonna take him out. Like, and then you started to see him kind of regret returning. He's just like, there's nothing I can do to actually change what's happening here. And so it was definitely unfortunate. So Oso goes back home, and then
his ass beat everywhere he goes.
Look, is this the scene where he
get kicked out?
Is it where he did get kicked? Okay, so I was thinking about the scene where his the blanket and stuff was on the couch, but now he's kicked out. Now he at the bar.
He at the bar with Ruben.
And Ruben just dropping all this stuff on Oso. Oso sitting here like, bro, what? Like, what is happening?
The way he stood up, if somebody was in there, be like, man, something had happened. The way Oso rose up as he was speaking to him.
And Ruben just getting all this shit off. And then we see Teddy is outside the bar taking pictures of Ruben. And I was just like, see, y'all about to get Oso killed. And I was just like, fuck. I was scared for Oso at this moment. I was just like,
but Oso, he got his, I mean, not saying that Oso did it on purpose, but he had his hands in too many pots. Hold on, wait, who? Is it this? Yes, there was this, but it was in the later part. It was like you got your hand. No, it wasn't. It may have been something different. He like got your hands in too many pies. He was like, that's you think they in pies? Now they are in they're in. I can't think of what he said.
Who was he saying it to?
I forgot. That was like and it may not even been his show, but I was watching something and that was saying that whoever the guy was, he had his hand. He put in his hand too many pots, so that's why he's spreading himself thin. He was like, no, I'm put my fingers in the log to stop the drowning, stop from drowning. And that's what the actual issue is. So I'm trying to stop the drowning and figure out how to cut my losses. It may have been this.
I don't know.
I'm gonna rewatch. I gotta see. I don't know. It's something, but I like that line the way it did it because it was like, nigga, I'm not trying to make more money, nigga. I'm trying to stop my money I got from losing.
Right. Yeah, I don't know where that's from. That sounds. I'm sitting here like, I don't know what the hell you talking about.
Man, that was a bar. Like that was a bar. It may have been episode 9. It may have been episode 9.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to like, is it this? I'm like, but I like the parallel between that and what they're actually saying.
Right. But so then we got Kane and Franklin talking, and they at Kane's house, and he's like, "Yeah, Frankie, I'm gonna do all of this for my people. I don't need you to regulate none of that." And he just like, "Your people fucking up my money."
I love
and
that
I
scene.
and I felt that this. Go ahead.
It was like Franklin finally bucking, like finally, hey, nigga, stop playing, like stop, I'm doing what I'm doing what I need to do to make sure I'm good, but that's gonna help y'all make sure y'all good as well. You see somebody get out of line, I gotta address that. I can't allow him. I can't wait, come back. Oh, that look weak. I addressed it then.
Nah, yeah, true. And then also, he stood up to Kane. Because there was a
Exactly.
lot of scenes where Franklin just let Kane get his shit off and he ain't say nothing. But this one, he was just like, nah, nigga. So they going back and forth and then shots fired. So this scene I thought was dope because of how the camera angles were.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, shit. I'm ducking and dodging the damn bullets my damn self. But I was just like, whoever was out there shooting. And I think Todd was one of them because Todd came in the house. Yeah. And Franklin shot him in the head, and then that's when Kane he said, Todd, and then he spit on him. So I was just like, yo, y'all terrible, because Todd even admitted he's the one that shot up Louie and Jerome's club. So I'm just like, y'all be getting the wrong people on these drive-bys, because I don't know how Franklin and Kane was able to survive that, because you catching them off guard. Don't just shoot up the house. See if you can see the motherfuckers through the window. I'm not saying this because I be shooting up folks, but I was just like,
no incrimination on this.
Right, none of that.
But now the way they ran, like they were just shooting, like they just shooting in there. They didn't care about anything, and I guess it was a thing of. Now I'm over here, like I sound like I be doing this, but they shoot in the house. So the only thing they can do is either they have to huddle in the middle, or have to go out the doors. So they came through all the doors, so that way there's nowhere for them to go out except the windows. We shut out the windows. The only place you go is out the actual door. So when they came into the house, they in one spot. So now I can see who's coming to me, and then once I take this person out, I can just go straight out that way.
Yeah,
that was good.
And they got away. Nobody got shot. Plot armor thick. Woo-hoo.
Wait. Yeah, you mean they didn't, Leon? But you got. So to be fair, I only seen 2 shooters, so it wasn't like a thick thing.
How many you need?
If it was a gang of people, I'm like the plot on the would be at that point. But like when they started shooting, they were able to get on the ground and get in the center of the house so they can't shoot them. So he ran into the house. Like Todd should have probably should have shot somebody when he came in. Like, he got popped first. Like he was just.
That nigga went in head first. Hey.
Shit. Nah, he got hit soon. He got hit with the shotgun. Nigga. Todd.
Hey, look, he was still hurt from when the stove was on his cheek. He couldn't move his head too tough. But I thought the visuals in this scene was dope.
It was.
For sure, but I was just like, so ain't nobody get shot. Oh, all right.
Not a single person.
But then we get a Leon and D fight. Finally. We finally get the fight.
It felt like Craig and Debo.
I got that in my notes. I was like, Craig and Debo fight. I got the same thing, like them fighting in the hood.
Man,
And
in LA.
Yep. And then Wanda over here like, get up, Lee, get up. I was like, you better defend your man.
He got him on the ground and he out there showboating. Like, what you want to fight? Either kill him or make sure he knocked out. What?
That nigga thought he was Oberyn Martell from Game of Thrones. He was just like, say her name. We saw what happened to him.
Man.
Debo did the same shit. Just don't show
Exactly. Don't. He got hit in the nuts. Yeah. And then I don't know where he got the bottle from. Was that handed to him? Or?
Look, they in the hood. It's a bottle somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
It's like a video game where you just like, oh, a bottle, and you pick it up. You just. But so this scene, I was just like, all right, y'all finally fought, but I was just like, now we have the person that's probably gonna get Leon out of here. So like the whole time I'm thinking of Lee's life being in danger, and I'm like, it's gonna be D. So I was just like, damn.
It's gonna be D.
It's gonna be D. But but I was just like, damn. So was there anything else in episode 4 you wanted to cover? Did I miss a important?
Nah, you didn't. You got every you touched everything.
Hey, damn sure wasn't Teddy and his bum ass hoe. Don't care about them.
I think this was the one she told him to keep the money and just run. You know, they should just keep the money and run. And yes, he should have. And then if anything you're gonna do.
He was like, would you leave with me? She was like, ask me when you do it. Now that was a bar.
It was.
That was a bar. Because he starts smiling and that dirty ass beard he got. They're so awkward to me.
I don't know where she even came from. Was she new when we got introduced to her? Like I feel like she was somebody else, but
she's somebody from his past. But when he got shot, she helped him. Mm-hmm. And they just start fucking around
But I feel like that was the first time we seen her. Right?
Yeah. It was. Okay. It was just referenced back of like she's from his past, and then as we see later on, we see she knows his baby mama or ex-wife.
I thought she was the one that was one of the contras. I thought that was her at first.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't. Killed her husband, and then boy, I tell you what.
Yeah. Hey.
Teddy ain't shit. Teddy, Teddy the real villain of this show. But we already knew that. Franklin just number 2.
Exactly. 100%. Teddy, he's definitely the fucking villain of this entire show. But episode 5, Ebony and Ivory. Whew. This episode.
Ebony and Ivory.
This episode was wild. So
this was that one.
We see earlier in the one of the episodes, we see Franklin talking to one of his connects to try to track down Teddy's father and his ex-wife and child. And so we see that they found where his father was. His father is in Kansas. And so V and her mother went to Kansas to try to figure out where he was. And he seemed like he may have been in I don't know if it was a retirement home or
it felt like home. It felt like it.
And so they were just trying to pretend that they're signing up. And then V's mom gets close with Teddy's father.
I would have got close too. She would have had me. Anyway, she wouldn't have to do all the talking she was doing.
You'd just been like, take me home.
Where you trying to go? What you trying to do?
This make no sense. Teddy's father put up a bigger fight than Jason. And you see how he ended up. So she's not safe. But
I wouldn't have cared. That's the problem.
It is. Look, long as you know that is a problem. That's all that matters. But so fuck this nigga. So they I don't remember V's mom's name, but we just gonna call her V's mom. She's talking to Teddy's dad. She's like, yo, let's go ahead and get out of here. And she tries to get him to talk about Teddy more. And he mentions that, I had 2 sons, and we know what happened to Teddy's brother because when he was dealing with
Teddy,
drug deal gone wrong, snorting all that coke.
That man go crazy. That's what happened to the cocaine bear.
Yeah.
In real life, not the movie, but in real life.
I was gonna say that. I was just like, Teddy brother was not doing all that shit that bear was doing. Bear was
Shit,
going crazy.
he probably went worse.
Yeah.
It was
It was R.I.P. to his name was Matt. I think his name was Matt.
yeah.
But so Kane is back at home. Kane is just like, Frankie, I need to know where your aunt and uncle are, because the house that they shot up was his girl's house. And her kid could have been there. And it's just like, that's a dangerous situation. And he just like, we need to figure out where they at. And so Franklin was just like, if I knew, I would tell you. And then hello, there's a horse commercial on the TV.
Boom.
She's at the stables. Look at that. That's called life handing you lemons and you make lemonade.
Exactly. I couldn't call it.
Hey, if the TV was on mute, never would have saw it. That's why you never have your TVs on mute. And so now we realize he tells them where Louie is normally at. So we get back to Leon and Wanda. Wanda's over here icing him up. She's just like, why did you even get into that fight? And the folks around the hood just came to Leon face to face. They was just like, you a confusing ass nigga. And they just like, you on your Malcolm X vibes, but then you also trying to sell drugs. They like, my nigga, we don't know what you're trying to do. And Leon asked him, he was like, were things better with me or with D? And they was just like, we just try to be safe and make sure we're protected. Which I definitely understand that, because you have a lot of people in that area. They don't like, the violence is an issue. And so V seemed real confrontational, real like he is like a dictator. And Leon was more laid back, everybody cool. So definitely different vibes. And then I think Lenny was just like, man, you left with a crackhead and came back with a wife. Sorry, Wanda. So,
that was like respectfully.
Like respectfully, sorry, Wanda. And Wanda just stuck a middle finger up. It's like, but did he lie though?
He said, that's what I'm saying in the hood.
Yo. It was some lines in here I thought was hilarious, but it's true. And so we see Leon get pulled back in, and not pulled back in a manner of where he wanted, but he knew he had to be in that position to, I guess, spread the message he wanted to spread. Does that make sense?
It does. It does, actually. But it's one of those, who would you much rather have in that situation? So yes, we're gonna be doing some wrong, but we're gonna be doing some good, as opposed to this right now, just like it's all wrong, all bad.
Right. And so then you see Wanda's reaction. Wanda's like, no, this is not. She just
devastated.
Yeah. And we start to see the toll that is taken on her. And I was just like, damn, y'all really gonna get Leon out of here. I hate all of y'all. Because I was just like, no. And his braids was fucked up from the fight. I was like, please.
Just a little bit.
I was just like, wanted to take that one out real quick and just put some edge control on that, because Leon shit was laid the entire series.
Yeah, Leon keep it on point.
And then like when Leon came outside, so let me ask you this. If you are somebody in that community and Leon come back outside, you just like, all right, I'm rocking with him. And he was like, who wants some niggas? Who gonna fuck with me? Y'all some bitches. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Which is like the 50 Cent meme.
I would have been different. Like, what, bitch?
For you. We were all rooting for you. Why we gotta be bitches?
Like, but why you so hostile? Why you acting like this? He said, you pussy. I was like, wait, like, why you? And then we got to fight. That's all you can do. We got to fight. Like, we got to fight for it now, because you're not gonna be just call me a pussy and point. He pointed.
He did. He saw him on camera. It was a light skinned one. I said, damn, you gonna let him do that? But then it's just like, this is the best time to fight Leon, because he just got in a fight. So exactly. You got a chance. But if you beat his ass, I mean, you got the juice now. So, so you gotta be in the. That's a heavy toll. You just be like, you know what? Let me not even fight him, because
exactly. It's just too much. It's too much that come with that W. And like, are we gonna be fighting all night? Like, what? Like, it's Royal Rumble for the drug, like the drug lord.
I don't even want to sell drugs. I got a job. Does that mean D gonna come back and try to fight me? It's just nah. But I thought I was just like, damn, Leon, you ain't have to cuss everybody out. And so we see Oso and Teddy link up. Teddy is over here getting some shit in a syringe. And I was like, Lord, Oso about to be out of here. I was like,
get him out the paint.
The way how they had everything set up, it really foreshadowed that Leon and Oso was about to be gone from looking at it here. And so Oso played a very important card. He was just telling Teddy up front, KGB came and hollered at me last night. You need to move this, this, and this. And Teddy is just all calm, like, no, we good. I'm glad you told me. He's like, but you gotta move it now. And he's just like, no, we ain't gotta do that yet. I already know. I followed you. That would have pissed me off. I'd be like, wait a minute, bitch. So you just be following me out of nowhere? You don't say, hey? Like,
Cabron.
Where's the trust?
Where's the trust, cabron? Because like with him, and I feel like that's what his relationship with the DEA was. Like it was a whole thing of, I felt like he didn't trust Ruben, so he had to play into the DEA's hands, and with Teddy, he had to be honest about at least that, because if anything, that could have come back up and bite him in the ass later.
Yeah, but I'm definitely glad he was honest with Teddy in this scene, because I was just like, whew. I breathed a bit deep. I said, whew, okay. Oso was fine. Teddy put that syringe in his pocket, and everything is cool. And so, let me see what I got here. We already talked about V Mama and Teddy's daddy at the nursing home. So D came to check out Jerome and Louie. And this is when D just went crazy on the disrespect towards Louie. And you brought this to my attention. You was just like, why Jerome over here be smacking Franklin around when Franklin called Louie a hoe? But didn't D call Louie a bitch right in front of both of their faces? And then Jerome was like, Louie, walk away.
He said, are you no longer calling the shots, so it's just this bitch? What you say, look? What you say, young blood? I would have choked him out right there at the top.
Because at that point, you can really just go ahead and take D out, because he no longer has the hood, because Leon got it.
He got the hood no more. But this is where Jerome took the Leon approach. Like he just like, you know what? I'm done with all this shit. I'm out the game. She's like, where you going? Shit don't matter. I'm out this bitch.
You started seeing him just get tired. Like his character, he just like, these new kids ain't got no loyalty. And he was like, the old ways are dying, or like the OGs are dying. And then D was like, nah, nigga, you dying.
Oh shit, Jazz, I'm just putting it together. Like I knew, but I'm just really putting it together. He was just like, damn, you the young nigga. You got no respect in the game. So it's time for me to go. Cause man, you supposed to be like this. But shit, listen how you talking to me, my wife.
Right.
It's some stuff is just off limits in that situation. He was like, nah, bro, I gotta deal. Cause what the fuck am I doing it for?
Yeah. Because like he just getting tired of you living, like you said, looking over your shoulder. Like that's not a way to live. And that's not like why he even got into this. And of course, him being at odds with his family like he is, and Louie just not understanding. And I'm just like, do you not know how important your husband's family is to him? And now y'all at odds. So it was just, she was just focused on, let's get our shit together, and everybody else is our enemy. So she started looking at her own family as enemies, and it was just,
and the constant disrespect she was getting.
Yeah.
So that's playing on her as well.
Right. And it was crazy. And then you see Jerome, he goes to an old friend to get his car worked on.
I was like, was he in this show? That nigga just pop up in random shows at different movies, shows, just at random. I'm like, nigga, was he in the show? He was only in this episode though. He wasn't no other ones.
Is he your Link of Thrones?
Nah, not this time. I feel like I used him before from some random other show.
But I just thought, I thought this scene was, before it escalated to violence, I thought it was really wholesome. And then you see Jerome was just like, oh, I'm gonna chill here with you. Why you all right?
You hear that thunder?
Nigga, what?
Hey, you gonna watch this back like, man, what the fuck?
Yo, I'm like, blink twice if somebody's there.
I did too.
Jason over here jumping the thunder. Lord have mercy.
No, that was lightning. She just said, I felt that.
Lord have mercy. But Jerome is talking to his friend and just talking about old times, and they drink and having a good time. But then his friend realizes there's a car circling in his shop. Mm-hmm. And of course, with everything going on between Jerome and Franklin, people know there's a possibility that gunfire will follow them close behind. And so he was just like, I think that car followed them, circled around here a few times. And then Jerome goes in the trunk and pulls out his gun. And his homeboy was like, nah, we're not trying to do that here. I do like how Jerome realized the fear and then just his part he's playing in this. And he was just like, I'm sorry that I fucked up y'all day. Because it's just like, I didn't come here
to be on that.
Right. But this life is following him. Because he's just trying to hang out with his homeboy, you know? So
nah, that's why I said he acting like Leon. So at least Leon did the right thing and leave the country. He just went up the street. Like he didn't go nowhere. Like their life is still there. He has to actually leave.
His friends are up the street.
And them niggas you running from up the street too.
So maybe his friends that's up the street can help him shoot them niggas following him.
Clearly not.
I mean,
so he gotta leave his place of business.
He was like, you only got 2 cars here and you busy? Like, my nigga, you gonna have us get shot up. And
exactly.
He was like, I gotta go home. Like, I got people that's waiting for me to come home. And I'm gonna reference that when we do our part 2, because we heard that again later in the episodes. But so now we have Franklin arrives into Kansas City. This scene was crazy. So he gets to the house. V, her mama, Teddy Daddy is there. And we already know how this goes. Actually, I didn't think it was going to escalate the way that it did. Franklin comes in.
I did.
You was expecting it?
I was expecting it. Because at this point, what does he have to lose? He's lost everything. A man with nothing to lose, you don't want to fuck with that person.
I agree. And Franklin called Teddy. Teddy picked that shit up quick. He said, Kansas City? Yeah, bitch. You've been dodging my calls. Surprise! And so he was just like, I want you to know how desperate I am, which means I'm very serious. You need to send me my money. And Teddy's ego really got his father killed, because Teddy is on that phone. He just like, you don't want to do this. You don't want to kill a CIA agent's father. You don't know how much trouble you in. He was like, let me speak to my dad. I'm going to get you out of this. He was saying all this to Franklin, and Franklin was like, nigga, fuck you. And he goes and put that knife in Teddy's father's throat. I was so shocked at this scene because I wasn't expecting him to go ahead and kill dude off rip. I was expecting some type of torture of like Teddy hearing his father scream. That's what I would have done. I would have tortured the old man. Sorry. So Teddy can hear him screaming, like, you want me to keep going? Like, you about to hear all of this. Send me my money. What?
Teddy like, I don't give a fuck about that, man. Put him on the phone though.
Right.
No.
Let me talk to my daddy.
Fuck this nigga, man.
Yo, when Franklin did that and then he was like, get out. I appreciate being her mama, not asking no fucking questions of like, you okay? They got up and went to the car. So
they respected him.
But it's like they knew what was gonna happen. And I felt kind of bad for the dad, but then I was just like, $73 million. Like,
just like
money. Money. But and then he just burned everything to the ground. And then Teddy just sitting there, he's like, I think he killed my dad. Ain't no think. Remove that word. Your daddy dead.
He got the nigga out of here, brother.
And I'm gonna take it down a deeper path. If I was Franklin, I would have had some folks on his father's crib and his ex-wife and kids' crib. I would have had both of them.
No, you're right. I would already had Paul and the baby mama snatched up.
All of them snatched up to where it wouldn't have been no, if you don't send me my money, I'm going to go after them. I'm already have them. Pablo Escobar would have already had them. That's all I'm saying. Like, they would have, look, you would get that transfer together, bitch, like $73 million.
Hey, Teddy, I'm gonna send you a message in the morning. I'll talk to you later. Wait a minute. What do you mean? He gonna send me a message in the morning? Shit, I'll be with the wife. Hey, I'm over here with your baby mama right now. Your son, I got him hung up by his toenails. So
Look,
what you want to do?
Jason, I wouldn't even send no message. I would have first class FedEx the hand to your house, my nigga. This is not a game. I would have had a picture of them handless after using a disposable camera. Like,
Something's wrong with you.
too many horror movies. But hey, if Franklin would have done that, I'm just saying the outcome would have been different. But and that's how it ends. Franklin burns the house down. I don't know who house that was, because
Exactly. Like who
yo,
else they go to be able to just burn it down like that?
they got
like,
an Airbnb quick and they burn that shit down. That's tough. But was there anything in episode 5 that you wanted to discuss?
I'm going back through my notes now. I don't think so. No.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you wanted to add from these first 5 episodes?
Nah, man, I'm glad they got right to it though. Like
Absolutely.
I'm glad they got right to it. They're not playing around. The intensity of what I need in the show. Like I just need Kate. I just wanted Liam, not Liam, but I wanted Franklin just on a rampage. Like fuck that, fuck that, fuck that. I'm going killing everything.
Yeah, $73 million will do that to you. But absolutely. So was it good though?
A fact. That is a fact. I've enjoyed every season. It'll be hard for me to tell you which season I didn't like. It probably was. I mean, truly, it probably was the earlier stuff because it was a lot slower. But
Right.
even then, like you got to have a story to be told to be able to make it last. So even then, if you go back, everything it makes sense. You know, got this happy kid to now this upset adult. Man, I love it. What about you?
Upset. That nigga is crazy. But like absolutely.
Rightfully so.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't have a reason. He definitely does. But I'm loving it. Absolutely. Every episode has been a roller coaster. So definitely excited to review the last 5 episodes of this season.
I can't wait to finish it.
Absolutely. So your Link of Thrones.
I got Buckley, Brandon J. McLaren. He was in the show that you introduced me to. Everything's Trash. I've been watching that and I didn't know. Like I've only seen episode 1 and I kept watching it and I thought it was more than one episode. I'm like, damn, I'm episode 5. I'm episode 5. I'm like, damn, I ain't seen none of this. And like, I've been watching it like when I'm in sleep, so I'm like waking up seeing parts, and I thought it was all the first episode.
Right. It's sad because they canceled it after the first season, so it's only one.
They did?
Season.
I thought you really?
I'm pretty sure they canceled it.
Because I feel like I feel like I seen something that was in production. I'm about to look that up.
Okay, yeah, I feel like I saw that they canceled it a couple of months ago because I think she was on Prime. But yeah, sis is crazy. I hated his locks in that series, or whatever the fuck was in his head. Like,
that's his hair.
It should look gross.
That's his hair. It's a wig on here.
Yo, he need to get back to that. Them little snakes or whatever.
Yeah, he got him. He got the way he got him up on his head. It is kind of weird. I agree with you on that.
Like, what is going on? But my Link of Thrones will be Oso, Sergo Paris Mucha. If I say that wrong, my bad. He was in Resident Evil Aftermath. It's funny because I recently rewatched it and I was like, is that Oso?
I've never seen it.
I think it's the 3rd or 4th installment of Resident Evil. It's not very good. So I'm not, this is not me saying go check that shit out. No. But
gotcha. I seen that when I was looking them up. Yeah. But
was there anything else you wanted to add?
Man, no, I think we kind of agree that Franklin is the villain. Like Franklin been kind of wilding, but like I said, because I know who the women are, like those women are the ones who shot Louie. When Louie was about to die, like they're the ones who shot her at a fatback funeral.
Right.
And Franklin, at the cost of business, he sided with not necessarily sided with them, but he put them on his detail as people to protect him. Like, you have these women in front of you every day as your auntie. They tried to kill your auntie, like people in your family. Like he just made a whole bunch of decisions that wasn't conducive to the relationships he was having. But I feel like it was the cost. He paid the cost to be the boss, and that cost was costly for him in the end. Like, when you start aligning yourself with things that the people up under you, well, I say up under you, but he was talking to them like they were partners in this situation. So when they're telling you, kill man boy, that's issue one. Like, why are you with them women? That's issue two. It's just a lot of different things that was going on that they were seeing, and they were just like, they were kind of like unaligning themselves with him. Like, that's just the cost of it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I guess we'll see if it comes back up, but probably not. So,
Nice.
but all right, was it nothing else to add?
Yeah, we got that. We got the Link of Thrones. Not really in agree to disagree. I think the bigger questions would be asked after the season over with, because we can actually talk about it. And I need to watch it, so I need to finish this season. I've yet to finish it, so
Right.
I'm halfway. I'm halfway there.
Yeah, and then we are recording this episode on 420, so happy 420, everybody.
Don't do no coke.
Nah, even though this is the Coke Chronicles, we do not, no Coke allowed in the champagne room.
So yes, please. If you, like I said, we recorded this on 420, so I hope you had a safe, enjoyable holiday if you celebrate. If not, that's your problem. Go celebrate. Shout out to Kris. Jazz, did you have anything to add?
Nah, very excited to be reviewing this. Continue and conclude our Coke Chronicles next week for Snowfall. It's gonna be sad, but we're gonna do it good. So, but definitely shout out to everybody who listens, new listeners, people that's coming back. Thank you for always sticking with us, and we appreciate y'all. So,
nah, most definitely, we definitely appreciate all the subscribers, all the listeners. But yeah, man, it's episode 46. Again, we appreciate y'all. Please like, share, subscribe, comment on our IG, Twitter. Like I said, the posts come through Facebook. Come on Facebook. Come on my page if you know who I am. Snapchat. We talk back. We have a Discord community. It's super engaging. Now, like, what happened?
You said Snapchat. I'm like, I don't be giving up my Snapchat to nobody.
I said Snapchat. I meant TikTok.
But if you look good, let me chill.
I meant TikTok. If you be on TikTok, so we're on TikTok, chatting it up too. But again, this is the Was It Good Though podcast, episode 46, Snowfall. We appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Cheers.